Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Youth Movement. Ishow efundisa iphinde ikhulise ulutsha laseMzantsi Afrika kunye nesociety yethu. I'm your host, Kitumeti Ngabeni. So today we have this young gentleman, Uputiza Utepo. Hello, Tepo.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm not.
Who's introduced? Usixeleba ngubani uTepo ngowaphi? You know?
Alright, Kamutsepo from Whiteville, East Rand. Grew up in a township called Tamboville. And now I'm just an all-round hustler. Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, and then everything else you'll find out as we have the conversation, obviously.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
Utepo. So Utepo wenza ntoni? Like, what are you doing?
Okay, as I mentioned that I'm an all-round hustler. At the moment, what I'm focused on mostly is a tattooing business and then a natural skin product manufacturing company. We also manufacture products for hair. So those are my two focuses at the moment. It's been a journey, obviously, for me to get to these two businesses that are just the main business. But yeah, that's about it right now.
So, like, kunini uqale nini ukwenza tattoo and also your skin business?
All right, the skin business is actually very new. The idea is old.
Okay.
The reason I hadn't jumped into it until now, it was, firstly, I was nervous, just that little bit of fear, the anxiety to start, and then I was giving myself the excuse, okay. And then, yeah, I just jumped into it. And then the tattooing, I started in 2019.
Okay, so it's been
about since it's quick fast like 2020 2021.
okay, no, it's fine. Yeah. So do you have a funding on your business or you using your own money?
All jokes, but I didn't get any funding whatsoever. I had to hustle to get into the business. Luckily, I also have some very cool friends that have assisted me to get where I've gotten to, and that's pretty much it. But in terms of funding, nothing like that.
On both your businesses, you don't have funding?
No funding
that's
whatsoever.
Great. That's great.
Like
you
I
have
said,
a good supporting structure.
Yeah, the resources are actually myself and the people that I interact with, as they say that your network is your net worth. And I've been fortunate enough to have some people who assist me on this journey, I believe that even me being here is part of me being assisted, actually.
Yeah,
because you know two people that I don't.
So tell me more about your skin business.
Okay, it's all natural products. So the focus is to create skin products and hair products that don't use any chemicals whatsoever. So firstly, it was inspired with the fact that I wanted to create a product that will help tattoos, like new tattoos and old tattoos, because obviously, as you know, a tattoo is sort of an injury, and you have to take care of that injury.
Especially for people who have sensitive skin.
Yeah, but pretty much for everyone,
Yeah.
And then after that, the tattoo doesn't actually last forever. If you were to live 200 years, it will fade away from your skin.
Oh, so, is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So created a product that would make the tattoo still look saturated within 5 to 10 years. It will still look good. Literally, when you put it on, I bought a difference, I'm told.
Yeah.
But then otherwise, once I started making that product, I just thought to myself, you know what? I've discovered some things about the grooming products that I use. There are ingredients in there that are bad for men, for your testosterone, for example. So what alternatives were there? And it was natural products. So that's why it's all natural products. So we create soaps, body butters, shampoos, conditioners, a product is being introduced onto the business.
Okay, so do you have employees in both of your businesses, or you just working alone? Okay, let's start about the tattoo one.
Everyone is my employee.
So how many employers do you have on your tattoo studio?
Well, in the tattoo studio, I mainly work alone.
Okay.
And then I've got this young dude that I am also bringing in, and I could consider him my employee, but I don't want to look at it as that just yet. But yeah, there's that person. And then just before I fully answered you, I said that everyone is my employee. What I mean by that is, remember earlier on I mentioned go to, you know, 2 people that I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you are part of my marketing team in a sense. So
Okay.
when sometimes I can get a customer from somebody else, like a referral,
Yeah.
I take it as that's somebody helping my business. Not necessarily as them being my employee, but them being part of my team and part of my journey and growth.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say Lucha, as you're saying that, the guy that you're working with, you don't want to say that he's your employee, but then, so do you have other organizations besides the one that you have, besides your businesses, whereby you teach young people about ink and everything?
At the moment, no. I'd be lying to say that there is, but I'm always willing to help people to learn whatever they need to learn. And if I have the information and the knowledge and the experience of whatever it is that they need at that moment, I'm always willing to share. In fact, I've got so many tattoos on my body where I was actually literally teaching people how to tattoo. Like,
do,
you see this tattoo
So,
here.
what
it's a big
inspired
tattoo.
you with the tattoos? What inspired you to start doing tattoos?
Bengifuna imali.
So, did you
But
go
okay,
to
let me
school
be
for
honest.
it?
No.
You didn't?
No. I got into tattooing, as I mentioned, is the finance aspect of it. I'll be honest with that part. But also, what made it more simple for me is that at heart, I'm an artist. You know, I started off as a photographer and videographer.
okay.
And then worked really hard for a long time, since 2014 up until 2019, which has a lesson in it. I was working way too hard for my own good. I have a burnout. So I had a burnout. So manje ngibona into efana ne-camera and I have to be behind it. Not
You're
anymore.
suffering
I'm
next,
suffering
right?
next, you know. So I got into tattooing. There's still that artistic passion that is being fed with that industry, and that is why I'm in it.
Okay, that's great. So, Tsepo, tell me, how is the community responding from your businesses?
Okay, so this one is a bit of a cliche, and it's a cliche that I've experienced a lot of times, you know. So your community, the people that know you, are most likely to not support your business.
Okay.
Your friends and family sometimes are most likely to support your not to support your business. Not because they don't want to support you specifically. Sometimes it may be that the service or the product that you are selling is really not for them.
Yeah.
So I would say that in the community or the circle of people that know me personally, the support is a little bit there, but mostly my support structure, like my customers, are total strangers. Yeah, they're strangers, and after that, I bring them into this little family of my customers. Yeah.
So, how is the pandemic threatening you? Like, since value lockdown is in Zenzeki, so how is your business?
Oh, how's the pandemic treating me?
Yeah.
It's good.
Is
It's
it?
good. Yeah, it's really good. And I mean that not in just a financial aspect of things, but in the growth aspect of things. You know,
Yeah.
before the lockdown happened, I never thought that I'd get to a point where I'm not generating any income. And prior to the lockdown, just 2019, I was at a point where the photography and video side of things was really gaining traction, and I found myself making a shit ton of cash, you know.
Okay.
And I thought everything is always going to be cool until the lockdown happened, and then it taught me a really good lesson that you need to wake up. And for me, it woke me the fuck up, and that's why I say it's been good.
It's been good.
It's
to
been
you.
good.
So, how much did you need to start your business?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, tell me, like, ungacebisa uthini kwi-youth out there?
What's to Kobisa?
Oh, sorry, man. So, ungayicebisa uthini youth out there? So, what is the advice that you will give to the youth?
Oh, Kobisa is advice.
Yes, Miss Toss.
It's closer. I would Kobisa them. Okay. The advice to the youth. So there are 3 types of people. One is the one who's going to start their business with absolutely no funding. One is going to be that person who has the family and who has a family that can support them into starting their business, or they are lucky enough to meet investors. The other one is the one who has a job and they have to fund their business, eventually taking that on full time. the first advice for all of them, like these are 3 different people, but the first advice for all of them is that they must always be learning from their own mistakes and other people's mistakes, meaning you have to read books or watch videos. And then the second advice is that give yourself a break, because you will get a burnout, and I'm very experienced in having a burnout. I no longer want to create content for other companies. I'll create it for myself, but I still don't enjoy it. But then otherwise, for the person with the job, I would say to you, do not quit your job until the business can match your salary and more. The person who's got the luck or the fortune of having a family that can provide them with that start, go for it. You know, and that one also allow without funding or whatsoever. Don't let the funding be an excuse for you not to start, because if you want to go into a construction company, it might need you millions, but to sell cigarettes at a street corner might need you only 30 rand. That 30 rand, it can accumulate, and you from umkuku, you're building a mall. So yeah, it's that consistency and patience.
So what are the challenges that you're facing, and also how do you overcome them?
Yeah, that's a broad question. There are too many challenges to answer in this one question, but one that is universal that I've noticed with other people when I have conversations with them is that problem of funding, right? But as I mentioned, there's ways that you can get that funding yourself. You know, you can get that funding yourself. The major challenge for me is scaling, growing. This is where funding is actually needed for you to grow. But since I don't really believe in not doing something because of not having a funding, I'm finding ways to just keep on accumulating the funding that I need for me to scale my business. So scaling is the main issue at the moment, but I'm learning through it. Yeah.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years to come? What is your vision?
In Dubai, looking at a girl in a thong. Jokes. But in the next 5 years, people like that question, don't they?
Yeah.
I don't know what the future holds. So I personally am independent. I'm outcome independent. So what I mean is that wherever I will be in the next 5 years, I'll be fine with it, if it's in a good place or in a bad place. But obviously, I am working towards finding myself in a good place in my life, in a good position in my life. This is financially, this is socially. And if I find myself, when I find myself in a financially comfortable place, I'll be happy. I'm at peace right now, but I think I'll be happy. I'm striving towards.
So, Tsepo, what are the impacts ozenzayo in your community?
Right now?
Yes.
None.
Okay.
I'll be honest, right now, none. But I've had conversations with people that I know from Ekasi and people that I've met during this journey, and it seems that there's a common theme in what people will say is that, hey Joe, when I look at you pushing, young push, so at the moment that's the best I am doing or I can do, and it's unintentional. Okay. And then I'll answer where I see myself in the next 5 years. That's where I see myself actually bringing some impact into my community and other communities. I'm from the East End right now, so I'm doing this interview, you know what I'm saying? So with the manufacturing company, I'd like to hire as many people as possible, you know, develop as much skills as possible, Ekasi, and just keep on growing from there. Okay.
So besides the ink and also the skin products, what else do you do?
Ngejim, cooking simbi. Saturday ngihambe ngoshayana namajita. No. Me, I'm not one to get big and all that. I'm a short guy, you know. Imagine a short guy, Humpty Dumpty, you know what I mean? He scored.
Yeah, he scored.
Oh, yeah. Like, so besides the business, like I said, people have to give themselves a break.
Yeah.
I give myself as much breaks as possible, as much as kunzima for me now, because I get very anxious the longer I go without putting in some work. But I've found a happy medium, which is going to the gym and doing some combat martial arts, so boxing and jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. So besides the businesses, that's what I do. And then obviously that are related to some things that I've done, and I hustle on that. Like if I'm free, I'll do it.
So ungathini to a 6-year-old table right now?
6-year-old type.
Yeah.
Mina ngikhulume naye.
No, like xa ujonga loya table bena
Yeah.
6, then now you're looking at yourself now.
He's too young. I will tell him yekela ukudla lo mhlabathi. He's too young.
Yeah,
He's too
because you're
young,
from
that's-
Kasi, right?
Yeah. That's the developmental stages, from 1 to 7. Ingqondo khane develop.
Developer.
Yeah.
But then, like now, especially abafana baseKasi, like ba exposed to a lot of things. Especially now, most of young boys are smoking and everything.
Hey, I was one of those boys.
Is it?
Yeah.
Then what
I was
changed?
one of those boys. I got lucky and woke up. I got lucky and woke up. So the 6-year-old, I would tell him not to eat the soil. You're probably gonna
Then
get
a
sick.
13-year-old?
But the 13-year-old, I would tell him zisazoshuba mfana wakabona next. So don't think that you are smart. Because, there's something about being a teenager where you think you are smarter than everyone, and anything that they tell you, ngena ngaphi, phuma ngapha. So that's what I would tell a teenage me, that just listen. As much unenkane, just listen. Some advice is good advice. So I've been one of those teenagers.
Abangamameli.
Yeah, I've even had a taste of nyaupe. It used to be called Thai back in the day. I didn't know what I was having a taste of nyaupe. And, they were trapping me. And there's ways that they can trap you. There's people who smoke nyaupe now. They were not aware that they are getting into that habit until they had the addiction.
Yeah.
So I'm one of the people who were fortunate enough to be like, you know what? The life layer making is
Yeah.
so I get to pay my uncle.
So now you don't smoke, drink.
Nothing.
That's great, That's great. So tell me, skin sakho, your skin products, like uke wazihambisa lapho uzotesta khona zicheck and everything. Ukuthi is it good for people to use it and stuff?
Yeah, see, this is the interesting part. All of the ingredients that are used on the skin products that we create and the hair products that we create, these are products that are proven over decades of years. I mean, decades of years. Yeah. These are things that are proven over decades to be effective on many skin types and many hair types. So, for example, we can talk about shea butter. You are aware of shea butter, I assume. Shea butter is good for almost all skin types, and it has many benefits for almost all skin types. You take that, we mix it with other essential oils and other products that will be good for your skin. So who has been the test for the specific products that are created under our company? I've been the test dummy.
Okay.
And
yeah,
the
we
people
can see your skin.
You're clear.
Glower. Yeah, you do.
Pad.
No, yeah, glow and you went.
Yeah, so it's that, and also the people around me have been test dummies for me, and the results are great. And hence, I had the confidence to actually sell it to even strangers. Because remember, I said this is an old idea that I was afraid of. I was afraid of such things. Like, you don't know what kind of skin that you are working with, even though you research a product and you are aware that it has worked for many people. You are not so sure once you yourself start selling it is going to produce the same results. Yeah, awukuthengwa is I know ngiyakwazi ukuthengisa. But like,
then xa soyisebenzisa umuntu
this is a product
uzoreacta
that's going
kanjani?
exactly. And once I saw that the results on me and other people are good, like I'm going in.
So what's the name of your product?
It's called TBT Nature's Touch.
So zifumane kaphi?
tbtnature'stouch.co.za.
Okay, so okay.
That's tbtnature'stouch.co.za.
And your tattoo studio?
My tattoo studio is at Maboneng Lifestyle Center in Johannesburg.
Okay, so do you have social handles where people can get hold of you?
Okay, me personally, you can Google me. Tepo Mavimbela. You can Google me. But then in the skin product company, the grooming product company, that's TBT Nature's Touch on Instagram and Facebook. And the tattooing side of things is Tattoos by Tepo on all social platforms. Also, tattoosbytepo.co.za.
Okay, what message do you have for our youth out there?
Stop depending on the government. Number one. Stop depending on the government. We are very much aware that our government is, I hate to say it, but useless. But useless. And if there's any government official out there who is watching this, useless, you nabantu benu. You know, so to the youth, anyone who's watching out there, like, don't depend on the government. You only, it's you and only you that has your back. Make a plan.
Thank you so much, Tepo, for your time, and thank you for joining us in studio. I hope youth out there will learn a lot from Tepo. He's a young man from East Rand. And then Yambono guy, skin product, studio Sekesetachi. And yeah, I hope guys you're going to enjoy this episode. See you next time, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Auntie Nolu Unlimited Media. Ciao.